Here we go again, another tips and tricks video. Today we're going to be taking a look at planetbase and how to set up an efficient colony. I'm very excited for planetbase 2, but it's far too early days to get excited about that. So here we go again on number 1. It's a colony management sim, a city builder basically, with a bit of a twist that you're on a different planet. You'll land with so many people and robots and resources to survive with. You need to get going pretty much straight away. You need an open space to build on, and you need a mountain to be building next to, so that looks fairly good. The first thing you want to do is build an airlock, and you want to build it right next to a mountain, so later on when you build a mine, it's as close as a walking path outside as you can to the mine. If you build miles away from a mine, you've got to expand out to it just to hit that, and you need a mine to be self-sufficient early on. You also want to be setting up a solar panel. If you rotate your mouse button, you can build a slightly bigger one because you're going to need it. You're going to need a power collector to store power for the night because obviously solar panels are only good for the day. I would do exactly the same and build a medium-sized one. And you're going to build a water extractor. I wouldn't build too much at once at the start of the game. You literally want an airlock, your solar panel, power collector and water extractor, and your oxygen generator straight away. These are your most important ones. You need water and power to create oxygen, and you need power to open your doors so that your colonists can get on the inside of your base before they run out of oxygen, basically, so that they can refill the suits. We're going to be looking at building the most efficient base that we can, so when all of this is sort of looking as good as possible, I'm going to be building a storage unit. Your storage unit always goes central. I've built a medium one again. Try and imagine a spiral around the outside of this is how we're going to build. It'll make sense in a minute. So you need certain things to be self-sufficient on the when you land. So you need to be able to mine, as I've been saying earlier on. We're going to build a mine here. You need the stuff to turn the ore into a metal, and you also need starch, which comes from your biodome. So I want you to place it as far as you can towards your base, starting on this side, and then we'll connect them like that, and we're going to build in a spiral going round. And the idea is this here is going to need stuff from the storage unit to make stuff here. So it's just the shortest walking distance from storage to biodome, storage to whatever's next, storage to whatever's next. We just keep on going in a circle. So we're also going to want a canteen so our people can eat and connect it up. As you can see, his power collector is now collecting power for the middle of the night. Sometimes you will run out. As long as you've got enough oxygen in your base to survive a while, you tend to be okay. You just need power to be getting in and out of your buildings. It's a bit of an awkward one to describe until you see it, but if you're going to play the game, you'll notice what I mean when it happens. I'm going to speed up the game a little bit because it's a bit of a bottleneck when you're just waiting for stuff to be built. When your buildings have been built, see, you can see the O2 saying we've not got enough oxygen, but as long as that's running, it's going to slowly fill up. Look. But as I was about to say, when your buildings have been built, your biodome, this is where you produce all of your food and your starch. So you click the edit button there, it'll take you into it. And you want one of these starchy foods on top primarily because that is your resource for making more bioplastics with. If you want, get a medicine one as well. It'll slow down your starch in the early game. but it really doesn't matter that much. As long as you're producing a few starch to get going, you don't need that much. We're going to edit our canteen to make a meal maker, a drinking fountain. That's what you primarily need to survive now for obvious reasons. You need food and water. We'll be very generous and put up a video screen for them so they've got some entertainment and a table so that they've got somewhere to eat. So now all of these you can sort of build off. As you can see, you can make more and more buildings off the side of them, but when it comes to dorms and that sort of stuff, it's a dead-end unit, so you can connect them elsewhere, but you can't connect anything else to that dorm. It's a single pathway unit, where if I put it here, I want it out the way so that I'm not interfering with my spiral again, but then they're going to have somewhere to sleep. The stuff which we've landed with, 18 food, 11 metal, 7 biome, as it's going down and down, it is going to go down fast. There's 2 paths from this point onwards. You either want to be self-sufficient, which is my goal, or you can place down a landing pad as soon as possible, and that'll allow you to both trade and land more colonists. If you land too many colonists too fast, your colony is going to be overpopulated. You're not going to produce enough food off of that little biodome, and people start dying. I'd sooner, just with the colonists that I land with, get going the best I can, and then add a landing pad in when I know that I can support the people that I'm adding into. So in your domes, barracks, simple as that. Everyone needs somewhere to sleep. So now the only things that we need left to be self-sufficient, we've got a biodome producing starch, we need metal and somewhere to then process the ore, so we need a mine, which I'm going to the wrong one for. It's on the outdoor buildings, and that is why we placed our airlock as close as possible to the hill on the side. So be very careful when you're starting your base to make sure you're as close as possible. It's a bit of a side note, but your mine's a dangerous place to work. People are going to break their arms, and after you're self-sufficient, you want a medical bay as soon as possible. But now we've got a mine for ore, a biodome for starch. We now need a processing plant so that we could turn those raw materials into refined materials and make metal and bioplastics. And then already, simple as that, we've got everything we need to be a self-sustained colony. That's only a basic colony though, because you've still got more stuff to process if you want to get into robotics and making spares and that sort of stuff. I believe you need where was it? Just taking a minute to look myself. Oh, that's it. It's because we've not quite built as processing plant. We need a factory, and then we can make spare parts for robots, that sort of stuff. Although we can't build new robots until we get a robotics factory. As soon as we've got spare parts, everything that we've landed with should be able to keep itself alive without slowly dying over time. If you would like, you can upgrade priority of which you build your structures. So if I've got several domes waiting to be built, I can click that one and it will treat this structure as a priority and build it first. As we're getting bigger and bigger, you'll find that you run out of power faster and faster. You get 2 options: build another collector if you're collecting plenty in the day anyway. So if you've gone for the medium or large solar panel like I have, you should be collecting plenty of power during the day, and maybe a secondary power storage unit will do you. If they will actually hurry up. I am playing on full speed. There we go. In fact, you could see the little yellow symbol above your robot's head. It means they're going to need repair soon, so that is what I was just going on about a minute ago for the factory after your processing plant to make spares for your robots. I do believe as well you need spare parts to repair practically anything in your base. You don't build it from scratch. As much as I enjoy this game, there's a bit of it's like any management sim, there's a bit of a waiting time while you're gathering resources where you can sit back and make a cup of tea. Can't you tell I'm British? So if my colonists would eventually get off their arse and get some stuff, I might actually be waiting on it, thinking about it. If you look up here, I'm waiting on metal, because I've not mined and processed enough. This is why you need to be very careful at the early game, making sure you don't use too many resources, building too much, too big too fast. So now I can mine, but I can't process that metal, and I need to be able to process that metal and bioplastics to be self-sufficient. So your colony ship which you've landed with, if you want to scrap it, it's going to give you quite a bit more metal to finish the job of producing a self-sufficient colony. If I'd have not noticed that, I'd have just been waiting for ore to be made with nowhere to turn it into metal. I was wondering what was taking so long for a minute. So if my colonists wouldn't mind cracking on and getting to work, there we go. A slight deviation of the plan, but we're back on track. So if we edit, bioplastics processor and a metal processor, it is exactly as it sounds. So for your bioplastics, these here, they're going to spit out both 2 food, 1 starch. When this line here producing gets to 100%, when your bioplastics are spat out, it'll be taken to your storage unit. Your storage unit, they'll then take it as they're doing it to your processor and then back to your storage unit, which is why we're going in a spiral around our storage unit, because it just goes from ABA, ACA, ADA, and as little walking as possible so you're not wasting your colonist time. So now we want a factory. And this is the very last thing that you need to be making everything you need to make to survive as a colony. This is your final step. After that, we're going to put in a landing bay, because being a self-sufficient colony is one thing, but then you also need to be landing more colonists so that your colony can thrive. I do it in this particular order because if you get a landing base, start landing people right, left and centre, I found that you either couldn't produce enough oxygen for it, or you wasn't self-sufficient enough to keep everyone alive. You've got to feed your colonists, obviously. So into your factory, spares workshop, that's probably the most important one at early days. Semiconductor foundry, that's for making new robots. And an armory, which I've not played for a while, but I believe every now and then in your armory you'll get pirate ships land or something like that. I can't exactly remember, to be honest with you. I love this game when I used to play it, but it has been a long time since I've tried and picked it up a couple of hours ago. Which is a bit of a shame, because this game has been updated over and over through the years. You can always tell a good developer when you just look on the Steam page. And one, it's got overwhelmingly good feedback all the time, and they're still releasing content for this game only a few months ago. And they're also working on number 2. And the fact that they've done planetbase and what were it? They've done Dawn of Man as well, which was overwhelmingly popular. I do believe that's going to be one of my next 2 try games, even though it's a slightly older one. I'm quite convinced they'll have done a good job based on the feedback and how well this game runs and plays. So, oh, there we go. So at this point you might find that you've got power issues. We shall go for a power collector again. We're going to go slightly bigger one. And we're also going to go for a wind turbine. Again, slightly bigger one. I'm going for the wind turbine rather than the solar panel this time because it's just good to have a mix. Your solar panels obviously only produce power during the day. Your wind turbines can produce at any point during the day. They can make electricity day or night, but you will find that the wind force, if I can remember how to take a look at it, up here, look, so you've got your sun and your wind. It's as obvious as it looks. As the wind strength drops, you don't create wind power. As sun goes down, you obviously don't create power. So having a mix, I can now produce wind power quite a bit during the day because they're both running in general, and then at night, even if I'm losing overall, it slows the deficit of power that I've got just having a wind turbine churning away, not quite producing enough power for the night. So our very last little bit that we've got to do, if you now build a landing pad. Oh, actually, as you build a landing pad, also a good idea while I'm thinking about it, there's a, just let me find it, which one were it? A control center somewhere I'm looking for. Where is my control center? Oh, blind as a bat. So if we get a control center as well, I do believe you can then set, as it sounds again, repeating myself a lot, a few more restrictions. So if you go into your base management, when your control center's being produced and your things being produced, you'll have options such as landing permissions. Already got manufacturing limits, so if you don't want to be wasting your time producing too many guns, or put a limit on everything basically, particularly early game, because as you've only got 7 colonists and 2 robots, what's point in running ragged doing the same task over and over and over again if you just don't need them to do that same task over and over again. All about efficiency again, is they just don't want to be wasting the time if they don't have to. And I think, yeah, I'm remembering more and more as the game's going on. If you make some driller bots straight away and carrier bots straight away, your colonists won't have to waste the time carrying stuff from A to B. And like I was saying earlier on, the mine is a dangerous place to work. You're going to get injuries, you're going to get broken arms, that sort of stuff. If you get driller bots, you just need some spares, repair your bots, and they're straight back to work, and they're miles more efficient than getting people in there that are going to get broken arms. You'll find this is your point though. This is why we're self-sufficient first. This is your point. Well, I've not quite got enough to finish my landing pad, because now we're waiting for the ore to be mined out, and we're waiting for the metal to be processed. So you can see the metal being processed here. You've got to have a little man actually making the machine work. Same for in the mine. You can see a man who's in the mine there. But this is basically what I mean about being self-sufficient. It doesn't matter if that landing pad's up or not. We can produce metal, we can produce bioplastics, we can produce food. We've got plenty of water. We're all good. We're absolutely golden. You just hit this point where you've now got to wait for your ore to be mined and your metal to be remade. You can see the down part, so semiconductors, apparently I need one, I'm not sure what for, probably for some sort of spares parts, not sure, we've got plenty of spares though. So you can see the bioplastics were down as well. so we're going to have to wait for bioplastics to drop out. We should be able to show you soon as that one's popping out. So it is that simple. They just drop out on the floor. Jobs are done. It's also a good idea to have carrier bots and everything so that you're... Obviously you don't need to feed your bots. And another thing, coming back to the security centre, I can't build it yet, but if I had one I could set an alert or set it up to automatically set an alert. I think it does it for you. When a sandstorm or something like that happens, it'll bring all of your colonists and everything inside for you, setting an alert. But I can't build it yet because we're waiting for metal. 2 metal pending, 2 metal pending. Even now, it's sandstorm going off, we'll survive, we'll be fine. Your buildings take a little bit of damage and can be repaired. To me, it's more important to get the landing pad built so that you can start getting more colonists in, because we can absolutely survive now. As soon as you get a few more colonists in, you might want to build a slightly bigger water thing and a slightly bigger biodome so that you can support a bigger colony. You might find that you need more oxygen as well. If you click your oxygen, oh, there we go. Generates oxygen for approximately 20 people. I've got 7. We're good for quite some time. It's just that simple, efficient base that allows you to build stuff straight away. If you build your base, say if I built my base like a snake, no matter where I put my storage, if my storage was at the top of my base, it'd be walking through the snake to get to storage every time. Or if it were in middle, it'd be going from one end back to middle, so forth and so on. I'm sure you could see the benefit of a spiral base. You just have to be careful with them dorms, because you cannot build off them. Like I was saying earlier, look, just won't work until you go next to something else. I do believe that's the only single unit thing, single corridor base, but I could be mistaken because I've not played for a while. There we go. I've built a landing pad now that I've mined my materials and processed them, and ships are already landing. Now I've got 8 colonists, so we've just gained a colonist. At this point, you do want to be taking a look at your base management. You want to be going to landing positions. So if I don't want more colonists to land because I'm not producing enough food yet, I can now deselect them. And then you can see a breakdown of your population. I'm not sure I want a guard yet, to be fair. They're not that useful till your colony gets big enough that you actually need them to protect yourself. We've got 1 medic, should be fine. Engineers, not too bad, to be fair. I think the basics are pretty good, but if you find that you're getting loads of biologists come in, loads of workers, you don't want to be overloaded of one thing. You obviously don't want too many medics or guards. Workers, biologists, engineers, super important, get them took on. So as your traders land, rather than your colony ships, it's just this, take a look through it, see what you want to trade and what for. It is literally as it reads. What we can trade, value 25. So if you're making a lot of food, or if you're making a lot of metal, got plenty of ore, just now that you're self-sufficient, just trade whatever you can replace fast, and you're absolutely golden from this point in. You'll find that you can trade bigger, I think, I can't find my words. You can trade for better and better buildings that you can build, structures. You can get the blueprints for better things, I believe. Again, it's been a long time since I played this game. I just remember loving it, and I saw a trailer that said planetbase 2, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I cannot wait. So I do believe I'm going to leave it here for now, because this was the whole point, of showing you a super efficient, self-sufficient base within sort of, I don't know how long we've been recording. It must take 10-20 minutes to get going, and you've got everything you need now to absolutely explode your population and go bigger and bigger. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.